To see the world. It's a well-known quest in the human experience. They say to be open to the possibility of something changing your life in ways that you cannot predict. They also say don't over-prepare or overthink, or you will never go. A long time ago, I realized that the wealthiest someone can be is in time. So instead of measuring my life with monetary value or material items, I started chasing experience. The best way I knew how to do this was by my own power, earning the miles and experiences along the way. I first fell in love with hiking on what are called through hikes, which is when you walk for months at a time on long-distance trails. I had a new backyard every night and carried only what I needed on my back. Where walking immersed me deeper into nature, I hoped that the bike could take me to far corners and cultures of our atlas. So I increased the cadence from 2 feet to 2 wheels and headed to Southeast Asia. I arrived in Ho Chi Minh with only the clothes on my back, bought a used mountain bike, and began pedaling north. 22 days later, and just before my 30-day visa expired, I arrived in Hanoi. After traveling an entire country by bicycle, I wanted to see if I could cross an entire continent. I started from Istanbul at the bridge between Asia and Europe, with only 6 weeks up my sleeve, and pointed my wheels north. Traveling by bicycle was a kaleidoscope of simplicity and freedom. Your transportation, you're riding it. Accommodation, your tent. Food and water, in your luggage. Entertainment, the people that you meet along the way. Covering 11 countries in Europe, I learned that courage is best built as a callus. Little by little, the cadence of bravery increases. And I would need all I could get of that with the next place I was headed. Africa. Cairo to Cape Town. Traversing the entire length of the African continent from north to south, this transcontinental expedition would be different than my previous solo ventures. This time, I was joined by my partner, Jim, to share the experience.
Just started riding from Cairo. Woo! What have we ridden through so far?
Humans, donkeys, buffaloes, rubbish, everything.
Everything under the Egyptian sun.
Egypt, the ancient civilization of ruins, full of majestic artifacts, a maze of tourist wonders. This country is also home to rich hospitality. Its people are generous
Got a free ice cream.
And curious about travelers.
I think we've exchanged about 1,000 hellos so far.
Hello. Hello.
Biking out of Luxor today, and we got our first police escort.
The police here are known to protect bicycle travelers.
There they are.
Escorting us all day long in their vehicles to ensure safe passage in remote areas.
Still behind us.
Up until now, I had no plans of documenting this journey. But when friends and family asked what it was like in Africa, I began reaching for a camera to film our experiences. As it turns out, the most important stories are those that you never meant to tell. From Abu Simbel, we boarded a small ferry to cross Lake Nasser at the bottom of the country. Riding the final kilometers to the Egypt-Sudan border, I could have never predicted what was to come. Not long after taking off from the pyramids in Egypt, we found ourselves in the Great Saharan Desert.
All right, one country down. We are officially in Sudan.
Sudan's desert was the essence of empty. We only found shelter every few hours of riding. Usually the only food available was their typical bean dish called ful. And days were over 120 degrees Fahrenheit. But despite the harsh conditions, I've never met more friendly people.
Here in Abri at this beautiful Nubian guest house that's run by Magzoub. And Magzoub actually took us over to his family's house for a delicious traditional breakfast.
Our days were planned around water, the most precious commodity in the desert. Drinking water came from the Nile River, stored in clay pots by the roadside.
Even after a day off in Abri yesterday, the wind still kind of takes a toll out here in the desert.
We would escape the wind at little cafeterias, scattered throughout the desert as a sort of truck stop. Some offering cots to sleep on, others sold food or sugary tea. These became our nightly accommodation when we didn't wild camp in the rock and sand. With a few days left of biking in the barren desert, our phone service suddenly shut off. We didn't think much of it until we got closer to Khartoum. It was here that we learned of the fragility of politics, as the military took over in a coup. After 1 week of waiting, Khartoum's airport finally reopened, and we were able to leave Sudan. Due to the Tigray War in northern Ethiopia, the land border was closed. We were forced to fly into Addis Ababa and continue our cycle from there. But when we landed in Ethiopia, a bicycle traveler ahead of us warned of rebel activity in the south. He captured chilling footage of the encounter with the rebels.
Come on.
With roads closed and increased danger, we decided to bus through Ethiopia to the Kenya border.
We are officially in Kenya! Woo! I'll show you what the nicest place on the block in terms of guest houses gets you here. Looks like we're mostly going to be doing bucket showers here in Kenya. Kind of stocking up on our food rations for the next stretch. Well, our first day in Kenya has been full of a lot of camels and even some monkeys and a little bit of headwind.
We were quickly acquainted with northern Kenya's high winds. In fact, this area has some of the strongest wind systems of the world, with wind gusts over 50 miles per hour, typically leading to sandstorms.
It ripped a whole tin roof off of a shack back at our last stop, and everything's getting quite desolate now. It's a bunch of lava rock out here in Kenya, and the wind is not being too friendly, but we'll carry on and see what we can get done today. Good morning. We slept here in Turbi, Kenya last night under this shelter, and we're heading closer to Marsabit today. Feeling like $1,000,000 this morning in the northern Kenya savannah. Woke up in our tent and we were hoping that we would beat the wind this morning, but that's not the case. The wind is an all-day, everyday occurrence here. It's been a battle. Hello. Wow, he's fast. Woohoo!
We began to see the vibrant, colorful expressions of the semi-nomadic ethnic groups, the Maasai and Samburu tribes. As I passed one teenager walking on the road, he reached for his homemade 7-foot spear and threw it our way. Thankfully, metal struck asphalt instead of skin, but it was still eerily close. We sprinted as fast as our pedals could turn. Unsure of his intentions, we were relieved to continue out of the region and into the cloud forest climate ahead.
We climbed about 2,000 meters yesterday, up to much colder temperatures, and now we're about to go downhill to Nanyuki and the equator.
After officially entering the southern hemisphere, we continued to one of the planet's most famous nature reserves, the Masai Mara. This reserve is a wildlife paradise, known for its big cats, and named after the area's ancestral inhabitants, the Masai people.
It's our last riding day here in Kenya. So tomorrow we hit the Tanzania border. Welcome to Tanzania, country number 5. Well, first impressions of Tanzania. It's a little more mountainous. I think we're in Maasai territory, and super, super friendly people. Thank you so much, Julia.
Thank you.
The church was a great place to rest the legs, and there was a nice village who we played a bunch of games with last night, and then they let us sleep inside here. We're in the mountainous part of Tanzania now, so we had a fair bit of uphills yesterday, and we will today too. And it's also the first part of the trip where we've started to see a lot of other bicyclists. Something like 30 bicycles a day at least. Yesterday we had a little Kiwi, American, Tanzanian peloton going on. We raced 2 other bicyclists who were going to fetch some water, and took turns drafting off each other. So a lot of bicycles here in Tanzania. Mambo!
Tanzania is where Africa started to feel like home. After 3 months on the road so far, the trip had begun to evolve into a lifestyle. But we still had to work for it every day. Flat tires became a normal occurrence, along with long, grueling climbs up the Maasai Steppe.
Quite a climb this morning. Nice little climb for breakfast. We dropped a significant amount yesterday down into the lower altitude of Tanzania, so it's a bit deserted and very hot. Tomorrow we will climb back up the Maasai Steppe and get closer to the Tanzania-Zambia border. We are officially leaving East Africa and heading into the Southern Africa region. Yesterday we crossed the Tanzania-Zambia border. Roads have been quite rough, not a lot of pavement, a lot of dirt roads, and kind of only room for one vehicle at a time, which definitely pushes cyclists out of the way.
We chose to ride through Zambia's northern region, some of the most remote sections on our ride. Our typical days stretched for 10 to 12 hours at a time. In between desolate sections, we would wild camp and do bike maintenance whenever we could manage.
Well, it's rainy season here in Zambia. It officially caught up to us. We got a big old day ahead of us with lots of uphills.
Finally, we made it to something we had both been looking forward to since taking off from the pyramids. One of the 7 natural wonders of the world. Situated on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe, we had made it to the famous Victoria Falls.
We are just crossing the Zambezi River and about to cross the border into Botswana. Botswana has been eventful so far. I already saw elephants. As soon as we turned onto Elephant Highway, we saw an entire family. Here we go. And a male that was in heat tried to charge us. So it's been eventful here, and can't wait to see what Botswana has to offer.
After the nerves and excitement of crossing wild elephants on the Elephant Highway, we marveled at some of the best camp spots and sunsets of our trip in Botswana.
It's our last day riding in Botswana, and we're headed to Namibia.
Crossing into Namibia, it became clear that the trip was coming to an end.
2 flats for the day.
And even though we were exhausted,
We're dealing with a bit of heat exhaustion.
we savored every experience. The vast landscapes,
Less than 10% of the roads here are paved. Kalahari, we're in the Kalahari Desert.
unknown creatures, and exploring unique, uncrowded sites.
We are in Deadvlay here in Namibia. This is unbelievable. We've got the whole Deadvlay to ourselves right now, so Namibia is absolutely stunning and such a unique place. It's pretty cool to see these hills caked in green, and the grass is alive and vibrant. We can definitely feel that we're getting closer to South Africa. We're only about a day and a half's ride from the border. We are on the bridge to South Africa from Namibia. Woo!
Last country.
Last country. We're setting out early this morning. It's about 5:30. The sun is not up yet, and you can see how beautiful the canyon walls are behind me, but it's our first riding day here in South Africa, our final country. So we're excited.
As we pedaled closer to our finish line in South Africa, I started to realize what the trip had revealed. Usually on long expeditions, it helps to take the mind elsewhere. Headphones transport you into another world through audiobooks or podcasts or music. But Africa never gave me that option. Africa made me pay attention. Through suffocating heat, thousands of distant hellos, vistas too magical to be real, mysterious wildlife, bone-rattling close truck swipes, and very dangerous roads. This made the days longer, more vibrant, and whether we liked it or not, we were thrown fully into the present. Nowhere have I ever felt so fragile, so exposed, so vulnerable. Nowhere have I ever felt so alive. I was terrified to admit it, but I felt this deep inner calling to continue on 2 wheels. Around this time, I came across a metric of 29,000 kilometers to cycle the world. Funding never came easy. I had to stop and work along the way, most of the time on a farm, saving every penny, but I knew it was worth it. After all, which would you rather leave this world with? A bigger memory bank or a bank account? So after working, I decided to consult the atlas, and New Zealand was calling my name yet again. Revisiting New Zealand after my thru hiking days was a reminder that it's never too late to reinvent yourself. I rode the length of the South Island in 2 weeks in preparation for my biggest solo battle yet, crossing Australia.
So across Australia from Melbourne to Perth has officially begun. It's day 4 and I have just reached South Australia.
The seasons were not in my favor in Australia. It was the deadly middle of summer where days rose well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But I went anyways, because my whole point of crossing Australia was to figure out what I was really made of. For the first time, I set an endurance time limit of 30 days to get across the entire country. Crossing the dreaded Nullarbor Plain, one of the harshest environments on planet Earth, I dug into reserves that I didn't even know existed.
Fighting a headwind the entire day. So it's been brutal. I am spent.
On my 12-hour days, most of them against headwind and borderline hallucinating with dehydration, I pushed my physical limits into a state of mental euphoria.
90 miles straight. Look, it hasn't been easy out here. I've had awful headwinds, insanely loud, powerful, dangerous road trains. Everything is salted and desert dust everywhere, but the desert, it just gets in your blood, and it has a way of changing you and changing the way you look at things.
In Australia, I realized that the days don't get easier, you just get stronger. This mentality shifted everything for me, which was just what I needed before riding up the spine of the Andes. It was nearing winter in Bolivia when I started my South American expedition at the world's largest salt flats.
This is the start of South America. Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia. It is the world's largest salt flat out here, and this is a dream come true today.
I planned to bike across the expansive abyss, aiming for an island invisible on the horizon, without GPS and resorting to following disappearing tire tracks. Up until this point in my trip, all of my tours had been warm-weathered. In South America, I decided to earn my grand finale and shake things up.
I'm gonna probably find a camp spot and try and escape the cold tonight. First night in the Salar, the first day was magical. There's no way to describe it out here. It's just, wow. It's another planet. Unreal. Amazing. I don't have any words for this. This is a very special moment and a special feeling being out here. This is one of the great natural wonders of the world, that's for sure. So, gonna try and stay warm tonight and wake up and head to the island tomorrow.
Wow, it got pretty cold at about 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m. right before sunrise. Man, that was a cold night. I have all of my layers on.
Whew, that wasn't the warmest night, but I survived and my water's not frozen, so I'm gonna call it a success for sure. Is this not the coolest backyard ever? I'm riding in this massive expanse, and I realized that what I thought were islands yesterday aren't islands at all. So I'm just now on the morning of day 2, about 80 Ks in, seeing the small Isla Incahuasi, which will have food and water. And then just beyond it, Isla del Pescado, where I'll be staying for the night.
Biking in Bolivia became about balance. We're all aware of our 2 brain hemispheres. One can be viewed as a structural, logical survival mind. The other, a creative, free-flowing artist mind. I believe the power of facing your fears lies in balancing the 2. Researching enough to be rational and preparing by doing your homework. How high am I climbing today? How safe is this region? How much water do I need from this river? It's important to be aware of the known so that you can allow the unknown to unfold. Because that's where the power lies. On the other side of your fears, everything is possible. The power lies in doing everything that you can to prepare and then letting go of control. Letting the trip set the course. The mystery unravel. The unpredictable happen. Things that you could have never imagined. Barriers that you never thought you could push. The unknown is where we transform. On the remote Peru Great Divide, I was sometimes days away from any human contact.
I'll be in the mountains riding at about, 14,000 to 16,000 feet. Climbing saddles over 4,000 meters multiple times in the day, and mileage drops right down, but the elevation goes right up. The incline has been pretty steep. A lot of wild camping. I think most nights I'll pitch my tent out here, and I'm just so excited for the mountains. I'm nervous for sure because it's the most remote section that I will be kind of voyaging into, probably on this entire world journey. So the nerves are real, but it's like I think it's a healthy concoction of nervous and excited, or terrified and exhilarated.
In Peru, I realized that I had something to prove. Not to others, because at the end of the day, I would take this journey if no one else knew about it. Not to others, but to me. I had to prove something to myself. An inner rite of passage, my own personal pilgrimage. A sort of self-propelled proving ground.
Today, I've been climbing for the entire day, since 7 a.m. I came from down there, and I said, no way in hell am I gonna make it up that. That is the steepest climb I've ever seen. But I went for it, and now I've almost conquered the climb, and just taking it one switch back at a time, and I'm quite emotional.
The Andes cemented a new chapter of my life, where I was spellbound with bewilderment at the beauty of our planet and the importance of showing yourself what you're made of when facing hard things that you didn't think were possible. The questions of other people rang in my head when they ask what it's like to be a woman alone in the wild. My answer is this. Far away from noise, distraction, and rush, far away from the epidemic of busy, there exists ultimate peace and safety in nature. And I believe that it's out here in the wild, where we're all born from, with the wind as our soundtrack, and the trees as our walls, and the sun as our clock. This is where safety and security lie. Where we're not bound to concrete walls, living in a box, driving in a box, watching a box. When we break those self-created confines, we come back home to nature, where we've always belonged. This is where I feel the most safe as a woman alone. As I rambled through Ecuador's Pacific Ring of Fire along some of the most iconic volcanoes on our planet, I learned the real reasons for this entire project. Every stage was important. Every stage became a part of me, carved into the story of why I set out for this in the first place. To show that big dreams are possible when broken into bite-sized chunks of stages. Time alone is a worthwhile investment. You're the only one who can make you happy. Happiness, after all, is an inside job. In today's world, we give so much of ourselves to other people. But I think that there's a power in taking time to understand your own story and your own depths. Because when you make yourself happy, you make those around you happy with the light that you share. And when you make those around you happier, you're able to make this world a better place.
This is the final day of the journey.
After 29,000 kilometers, 28 countries, 5 continents, just like that, the importance of the metrics disappeared into the deserts, coastlines, interactions, ancient and natural wonders. So that thing that stirs your soul, whether it's by 2 wheels, 2 feet, across the world, or in our own minds, it's worth exploring. And the best time is now.